In this video, we will go through the IDE, the for project creation tool and programming tool for Siemens PLC systems, including the WinCC, SCADA. But in this tiaportal project, I also the layout where you can find the instructions, blocks, how to create blocks, how to create the watch table, and so on and so forth. The important features which are very common you need for project creation and programming. So first thing first, this is what we are going to do. Project tags, data block, function block, watch table, symbol, user defined data type, and organization blocks. So first of all, what is project? Now in TIA portal we have one project right now here that is called TIA portal project. But under this you may have multiple project, or maybe having only one PLC project. So it can have multiple PLCs. Like in this project I have multiple PLCs 1, 2, 3, 4. So independently they are actually separate PLC project, PLC program and PLC hardware. They can be connected to each other through the programming and data transmission. You can that you can define here in the devices and networks. Let me open it and show you. If you double click, another window will open. Here is the thing, important thing, and you can connect these PLCs together between the ports. Like PLC 1 I can connect to PLC 2 this way, you see, if we drag and drop. But there are some other settings, we will come to that later. That way you can interlink between two PLC projects. Okay, so that is gone. Project part. Also the HMI thing. The HMI also you can connect to any PLC. Here is HMI. Now in this project we have connected to PLC 3. And if you go to port and go to properties, you will see the HMI details as well as IP address, operating modes, and then port details. Okay, so this is the settings you can access from here. You can access the PLC3 properties from here. If you click the PLC, go to properties, you can access PLC properties here, and then if you click port, you only can access the port related properties. This is important to know. And the next thing is we're going to go to the blocks, all the blocks. Let's say for example we'll go to PLC 3, and if you see folders, there are many folders. Let's go to first folder is program blocks, under which we are going to create all the blocks like function block, organizational block, OBs, and then technology objects. I will skip this one. Some of the folders I will skip, for that is not so common for normal CPUs. And then external sources, where the text files are imported, that is programmed in different textual languages like STL, and we can compile it later. And then PLC tags, that all the tags will be listed here based on the file. We can create a new table like here, and then inside table we can create the tag, and we can give the name also. And then PLC data types, we can create user defined data type that I showed you here, user defined data type. There are basic data type like boolean, integer, real. These are basic data types, and you can create data types combinations of these basic data types. That is called user defined data types. And then watch and force table. Here we give the tag name or PLC memory address or data block address, where we can directly force data, directly change data, and monitor data online. Just watch table. So far so good. And then HMI, same thing. We have screens and then HMI tags. And interesting to know that HMI tags, if you don't create tag from screen, you can access the connected PLC tags directly. Tags and data blocks. That's we will come to know later how we can do that. Now go to the program block folder, and if you click add new blocks, let me show you how you can create different block types. So there are 4 buttons right now. If you click organization block, all the possible OBs, organization blocks, will be listed here. That is applicable to this selected CPUs. Program cycle, startup block, time interrupt, servo related, and then profile, time of the day, programming error. So here you see the number is also changing. 121 is the OB number 121. Hardware interrupt 40, that is OB 40. Program cycle 123, time delay interrupt 20, cyclic interrupt 30, and then function block. Function block and function, the difference is that for function block there is always a data block attached to it, and that is called instant data block, because the variable we create for function block needs to store data in the data block, instant data blocks, so that the data can be used in function block in the next scan cycle. But function, there is no such requirement at all, because it's just a function. It's not saving any data in its locally created variable. And data block has 2 types: instant data block, that is attached to function block, and normal global DB, that is independent. Additional information is nothing there, so there are 4 things here to note. Now if I create a movie organization block, for example cyclic interrupt, I want to create. Here is microsecond, okay, 100 millisecond. This will create OV 30. It's taking a little time. Okay, it's done now. So if we click on this block and then you run this workspace nicely, you get this window. Work window is a workspace for doing all the ladder program. You have block title, the comment for this block, and then you have network and the comment for the network. And here is 2 button: insert network, delete network, and few very basic instructions that repeatedly used in ladder program are here. So you can create to multiple networks, comment, make a title, network title, and a network comment, and do the programming here. I'll close it now. Something. Okay, same thing for cycle. All the blocks has that common thing. You have this thing, common instruction, and then block title. Block means it can be FC, FB, or OB, and the network comment. And then you can create multiple network, or you can delete. So let's create one FC. FC, I don't give any name right now. So here it is. The FC1 is created, and then create new network. This is the instruction. You can insert while these things we will come to it later. I'm just showing you how to create the blocks, and then you can create FB. Now you notice the difference when you create FB. Create FB, you don't see any difference, right? It's totally same as the FC. But here, if you come, there is variable declaration. Let's say one I give here A1, then V1, and in out C1, and you see the note is static variable. This is the difference between the FC and FB. In FC, you don't have this static section. You have input, output, in out, but there is none as static, because that is where the FB differ from the FC. You can store data in a static variable when executing FB. The FB also stores all the data to the input variable, output variable as well. But the main difference, you can use the static variable in a very well planned way. It has many advantages. We will come to know later. And so we have FB, FC. Okay, let's say for example, I have this FB, and you want to call this FB inside FB. You've seen the difference. FB1. If I enter, it will ask for a DB. That is called instance DB. This single instance, you have option single instance or parameter instance. The parameter instance is like multiple instance DB. So I create now single instance. So I see automatically the DB is assigned to this FB. So if you open this automatically created DB, you will get this variable whatever we have created in FB. Interesting, huh? Now let's say we create a DB that is global, and as it is, there is a table, because it's not programmable. The DB is not programmable. DB is just a table of information, the list of variable with data type and value stored in it. It can store the constant variable as well as the variable with changing values. So that's all for the moment, how to create a DB. For example, if I create a global data block variable var1, and you set it for example, okay, let's say boolean, you can access that variable from here. You can access it by typing db2 dot dbx 0.0 if you click, or you can give a name data block dot var1. You see the var1 is here, because this is also in boolean, and the variable we have created is boolean, so they are actually compatible. So when you click that data block, the list appeared boolean. We can connect to that data block this way. Okay, so far so good. Now we have covered almost everything. Watch table, how we can watch a variable from the watch table. Let's say you create, we have one default watch table, and then I want to watch that db2.dbx 0.0. It's not coming, so data block. I will tell you later why it's not coming. Okay, save. We have to select the program block once and then compile. So all the blocks is being compiled now. Okay, so now if we monitor, for example, I want to get a simulation running. PLC3 simulator. I'm starting now because my project is PLC3, which I have opened, and the watch table is also belong to the PLC3. So it should connect to PLC3 by default when the simulator opens. Still being opening. Okay, I have to set some of the parameters like connection interface, search. You see the PLC3 by default is selected. It's trying to find from the project tiaportal. Okay, so it has one PLC. Obviously, it's going to find. Now I'm loading all the project in my simulator right now, and start all, finish. Okay, good enough. It's running now. The green color shows it's running without any error. So now if I go to this button, monitor all, you see I can see some of the values are changing. Clock byte is actually clock byte that's set in CPU. Let me show you where it is. In CPU, if you go to properties, there is a clock byte, clock memory, and inside clock memory there is this setting: enable the use of clock memory byte, that is MB0, and MB0 is this one. So each bit has a different frequency in which it's turning on and off. Here it is given the list. Sorry, here 10 hertz, 5 hertz, 2.5 hertz, 2 hertz, and 1.25 hertz, 1 hertz. And this way we can use the clock. MB1 also is used here. So you can see the MB1 also changing the variable value. So now it has 0, 1, 2, and 1.2 is set, and 1.2 is always true. So it has 4 bit Now I want to change the value of this data block, the var one. Right, we have one variable var one. If I control right click modify control F2 turns to right, you can see whether it is turning on or off. You can see here, if you go to monitor here, you can see the value has changed to true. One more thing, this FC1 is not called in our main block. Main block is the block which is running continuously, and other blocks will be called from this block FC1. We have to download, save and download to work to make the changes. Okay, so since it's done, now if you go to FC1, you'll see it's true. You can also modify from here. It's false, and go to watch table. You will see it's false. So that's how we actually use the watch table. If you have multiple variable, you want to see the effect of changing one variable to the other variable, so on and so forth. So that way we use this. So that's good. So far we have covered this much. I cut short this video.